Hey, how's it going, guys? As you can see by the title of the video, I'm preparing for a chess tournament, which by the time this video is published has actually already been played. It's a 2-day rapid format tournament, which is why I'm playing a rapid game now in preparation for it, because I very rarely play rapid format chess. I'm used to classical or blitz or bullet typically. Kind of like a 15-minute mark is a bit more dubious for me. So to do that, to prepare for that, I'm gonna play a rapid game and talk you through my thought process while I play, so that you guys get some educational value out of it as well. While I'm waiting for it to load, I will pause the recording and resume when we get a game. Here we go. We have a game, and I'm gonna play this gambit line of the Sicilian, which, if you haven't seen some of my previous videos, in my 3000 performance rating video, I play the same gambit line, which goes like this. Went like this in that video. That was a great video, by the way. That was a crazy game. So check it out if you haven't seen it. My opponent plays e5. I believe the idea is to now push this pawn, bring my knight to c3, and my bishop to c4. Now, I don't know whether I need to kick this knight out yet or not. Because if I play c3, like pawn c3, then I can't put a knight on c3, because the pawn will be there. But this knight is also very annoying, and if I try to challenge it with a knight, he's going to let me take him and then take back with a pawn. If I go c3, the knight has to c3. The knight has to retreat to e6. I can't play d4, but I could go c3, knight e6, knight f3, attacking this pawn, which forces d6 to defend the pawn. And then I can go bishop c4 to control d5. And with pressure on this pawn, maybe I can prevent d5, because I'll have the opportunity to capture. So that's what we're going to do. And this is the kind of calculation that I need to get comfortable with. And it's quite an instructive thing where I take like a full minute on one move, but I'm then going to blitz out my next 3 moves, because I just calculated this variation. I just said this was going to happen. Now he goes knight here, attacking my pawn, knight f6. If I go d3, d5, then I can take. So d3, d5, take there, and then this pawn hangs. So I'm going to go d3. This gives me kind of like, it feels a bit reminiscent of like a Roy Lopez, where c3 and d3 are played in the hopes of eventually going d4. Except I've got a pawn on b5, which is a bit a bit non-Roy Lopez. Now, I kind of like the idea of queen to b3. Just get on this diagonal. But I don't know if it actually does anything. And I think I can play it at any time, really. So I'm just going to castle for now. Let's see. Where does this knight want to go? It'd love to go to c3, but it can't go to c3 because we put a pawn there. I do like the idea of a queen on b3. It can't actually be attacked by anything. My bishop also can't really be attacked. And bishop d7 means the queen can't support a d5 push. So I think I want to bring a rook. Ooh. Okay, if I take, he has to take with the pawn. But then, I don't know if I like that. I could play b6. b6 looks promising. But it does allow bishop to c6, controlling the d5 square quite a few times. What if I go a4 takes, I take with the bishop? I think I like that. I think I like that. It also gives the a3 square for the knight. So if say my opponent castles, then I can probably play knight a3. Okay, we don't get that. So yeah, we can't take with the pawn because the rook hangs, so we take with the bishop. And obviously we take with the queen if he takes. But now knight a3. I feel like that was an inaccuracy. Because now if he takes, we can take with the knight and get our knight into the game. Again, d5 doesn't work in so many positions because the e5 pawn hangs. Does this not just give knight here? Am I missing something? Knight z4 attacks the queen. The queen is forced back. Let's do it. Maybe I can push the pawn? Do something, push the pawn and put the knight on b6? Although this d5 works. Excuse me. d5 works because the queen defends the pawn. Knight e3 looks really good though, exerting pressure over these squares. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. This is a dream square for the knight because it just controls some incredible squares. Prevents d5. Okay, here we take with the queen. He offers a queen trade. Now if we take this, then he does get a pawn on c6. That is a double pawn, but the pawn does control the d5 square, sorry. However, we can stick our knight on f5 and attack this bishop. And it gives us a passed pawn. Is that passed pawn that good though? What happens if we retreat the queen? If we retreat the queen, he probably has ideas of getting the rook over and going b5. I think we'd probably need to take. But if we take, this pawn is very weak. Although, no, okay, I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. What I want to do is I want the pawn on a5 and the knight on c4 guarding the pawn. And if d5 is ever played, my knight can take on e5 first. Maybe after a trade here, and then take on e5. So my knight always has an escape square. Okay, I like that. But we don't need to do it yet. We can be patient. This bishop still needs a home. Could I just put it on d2? Maybe it wants to go on e3. And if the knight challenges it, we just let him take. I think a5 first. a5, rook fb8. Then we jump our knight in. We've also got access to b6. If here, bishop drops back to attack, and we go here, we also have eyes on d6. I think we're also probably happy to give this pawn up if it means that we can win d6. Or just break apart black's center. This isn't easy though. My bishop is a big problem. It's a big problem. There's no ideal squares for it that it can get to. I would say I want it on g5, but its knight controls g5. What about if I start? What about if I start with knight c4? And I kind of paralyze this bishop. So the bishop can no longer retreat because this pawn hangs. And now I push. Although I don't actually need to push yet. What if I put the bishop on e3 first? Or on d2, because in some lines where d5 is played, and the knight ends up there, the c3 pawn could hang. But if it goes to d2, and the center opens like this, then it could be a target. But I do have defenders. So maybe d2 is the square. e3 though does support d4. So I think I'm going to go to e3. And like I said, if my opponent plays here, I don't mind losing the bishop. Because it's a closed position. So I don't care that much if the bishop dies. This is a really interesting game. It's not a wild game, it's not an attacking game or anything. It's a very positional game. But I think rook a6 is wrong. I think doubling up is wrong, because after a5, my knight does a great job of gardening it, and I want to get my rook onto the b file and pose some problems for the black position, because these pawns are kind of tender. You know, trading the queens here did weaken his pawns. So it's not easy for my opponent. Yeah, so here I push. And if bishop d8, I think I probably just take on d6. And e5 hangs at the end of the line. And yeah, I think my pawn's stronger on a5 than it was on a4 though, so having the rook do this little maneuver only helped me, I think. Chess is just a debate, like that's all it is. It's just a debate of I'm like my pieces are doing better things than your pieces. Yeah, so now I take with the rook, and I own the b file. That was definitely not right. But even after rook a8, I can just push. Or take first and then push. That's logical. It's giving the king some breathing space. The rook actually does a good job of blockading. If I go to f7, sorry, to b7 to attack the bishop drops back. Can I pin it? The knight does guard it. So let's calculate. Rook b7 attacking the bishop. Bishop drops back. Rook b8 attacking the bishop, pinning it. King h7. Knight d6. Rook takes. Then our back rank is vulnerable. So I think h3. Because if we can give up this pawn to win d6 and e5, that would be great. But we can't blunder back rank mate. So we need to make this preparatory move first, so that we can get onto his back rank. Sorry, just get our rook into his position. Give up this pawn at some point to win his central pawns and create a winning advantage. That's the plan. Is that not just a massive blunder? That's a skewer. He's got to play knight f8, yeah. Maybe he survives. Hmm. He's kind of surviving. Yo, this is a really cool tactic. This. But it's not good enough. D4? Takes. I think I'm just helping him. I think I'm just helping him by alleviating some pressure. Hmm. This is a really tough position. What about rook c7? Rook c7, just putting pressure on c6. If rook c7, bishop d8, there. And then if the bishop takes... doesn't work. Maybe he's actually threatening bishop d8 to attack my pawn. Although here, I can just take there. And c5 is weak. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try and bait my opponent into playing bishop d8. Doesn't take the bait. f6. Huh. That's interesting. Because weaken some... Maybe I can get away with knight here. Does it threaten d5 though? Because this pawn's defended. Takes. I've got to move the knight. Ooh, tricky. What about knight here? Knight here cuts off the rook's connection, and it attacks this knight. If here, he can't take because the bishop hangs. And if the bishop goes to d8, here, if the bishop goes to d8, I can take here. And if rook takes... What if rook takes? Okay. I think I've got to go for this regardless. I think I need to go for this line. No matter what. Otherwise I think I'm going to lose. Because this pawn is a weakness. So I have a double attack on this knight and he's one defender. Oh, he goes to that straight away. What about... I didn't consider bishop d8 straight away. I take. Is my knight trapped? I don't think so. I think my knight's okay. But if here, I can take on d6. So we're going to do that. That's what we're going to do. Then we're going to take on d6. Yeah. And c5 is going to hang. But c3 then... c3 will fall if I take. If there... Ah! No. But then I have this. Yeah, he can't take on c3 because of rook to d8 and the knight falls. Yeah, c3 can't be taken. My opponent's playing really quickly. Fair play to him. So here, what do I do? I think I like this move. But then bishop takes there. Not convincing. I also can't give a check because the knight does a good job. If I go c4? If I go c4 with the plan of playing d4? But c4 bishop c7 and my rook is out of squares. Is my rook trapped? Maybe I need to go d4 because then if bishop c7 I can give the rook up like this and it's not lost because I've got e4. Although it's probably lost, but how do I not lose this rook? You probably could have played it on the previous move, to be honest. Okay, we're going to go for d4. Need to play a little bit quicker. I did criticize my opponent for playing incredibly quickly, but I also need to speed up at this point. Yeah, this is tough. Bishop c7. Bishop c7. I've got to take. Bishop c7. Pawn takes e5. If he goes here, then I can maybe take here first, but I can get the rook out because the d-file will open. So bishop c7 takes, bishop takes. I've got to take with the pawn. But knight d7, it's a bit of an issue. Okay, he doesn't find it. Fantastic. I don't know if I was missing anything after bishop c7, but we're just going to go for this now. And it's equal material, but I feel like I've got more activity than my opponent. Now I'm going to set a trap. Should I set a trap? Here. Here. Check. Here. Check. There. Maybe I can then... But it would be easier just to attack the bishop and try and get it away from the defense. No, we're gonna go for this. That's what we're gonna do. I think we can go back there at any time, but we need to try and get this rook onto d7, and rook d8 secures that square. The king can't go here because rook here and I win the knight. He goes straight there, but what about there? If he returns, yeah, he could just he could just go back. What about bishop d6? Attacking the pawn. The king goes here, I can give a check. If the rook goes here to defend it, maybe I can go here? The king guards. Don't know what we're gonna do about that. Maybe here with the intention of going to g4, but then h5. we're going to give a check. Okay, but now can I not complete this maneuver? Whoa. That's checkmate. Yo! What is that? What is that? Bro's checkmated in the middle of the board. That is awesome. So, what a game. I was expecting king here, and I was going to bring my knight in and try and put pressure on g7. Wow. This game was very interesting. I want to see if I played this opening correctly. So yeah, b5, knight comes in, c3. Bishop c4 is the right idea. d3 is correct. Bringing the queen is fine. I should have pushed b6 though. But after this, I'm not worried. Because I suppose this pawn hangs anyway. Okay, so that's interesting. Knight a3 was good. Knight c4 was good. Dropping back wasn't. Okay, no need to drop back. But I think my plan of knight c4 and a5 was good. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, here I thought I was winning, but I couldn't find the win. He wanted me to bring my rook back to b7. Wow, okay. Here I didn't even think about taking the c-pawn. I didn't even consider it. Yeah, here I'm losing to bishop c7. But he just didn't see it, fortunately. And yeah, here my plan was to do this, which the computer approves of the idea of going d4, but in this position, yeah, bishop d6 is good because I can now play this check and go with this knight h4 idea, but bro just hung mate in one. Well, well. Crazy. Crazy ending. G4 checkmate. Not often that you see that. If you guys did stick around to the end, then thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I know it's a longer video, so please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed and if you stuck to the end. But with that, wish me luck in my tournament, which this game was in preparation for, and have a good one.